everybody, Kowalski here, checking in with another one of our hashtag Godzilla vs King Kong video theory discussions. Let's jump into it. Obviously, the trailer for King Kong vs. Godzilla has just released, and people are pouring through many of the different details and kind of hidden little Easter eggs and clues throughout the entire thing there. And I did my initial trailer reaction to it, but I wanted to make this video a little bit separate, so that way it's kind of a bit more of, I guess, spoiler-esque discussion, but it is a bit more focused on two plot points that I want to kind of talk about, possibly a third. So let's jump into that. One of the big things, obviously, is the inclusion of an organization known as Apex. Now, there's a couple of theories as to what Apex is and its relationship to Monarch, which I'll talk about here in a second. There's another theory going around that the Godzilla that King Kong is fighting isn't actually Godzilla at all, but a different version of the Godzilla kaiju kind of brand, I guess you could call it. And then the final thing, which isn't really a theory, which is kind of just essentially kind of spoiled inside of the trailer, which is the arrival of Mechagodzilla inside of the modern day Monsterverse. So let's talk about Mechagodzilla first. So there are about 3 images that allude to the appearance of Mechagodzilla. I don't know how much of Mechagodzilla we're gonna get, but the Mechagodzilla is in this movie. There was a lot of rumors about Mechagodzilla appearing back when this movie first got into development, but that feels like 1,000 years ago. But we finally got a little bit of a tease as to what Mechagodzilla will look like and its appearance in the film. So the first one, and the most obvious one that everybody kind of saw, was this scene here, where in the background here on the screen, it does appear as though there is a kind of Mechagodzilla construct kind of, being displayed on that screen there. And the character that we're looking at here supposedly is the son of Serizawa, who died kind of juicing up Godzilla at the end of King of the Monsters, but I don't know if that's 100% or not yet. I know the IMDb profile does connect that character back to that actor, but I don't know, we'll see. So that was the obvious one, but there were 2 actually ones right at the beginning of the trailer. This shot right here, which looks like there's just some kind of explosions happening inside of this city, but if you slow it down, pause it, and then brighten the image up, you can clearly see the head of Mechagodzilla right there at the top. And then, of course, if you jump over to this image, you see these people running down the stairs, and you can see Mechagodzilla's head and neck kind of in the background there. So this is clear as day. Mechagodzilla is going to be making an appearance, and I'm super excited to see King Kong versus Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Maybe it's going to be a 3-way fight, or maybe it's going to be King Kong and Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I don't know. I'm very excited to see any of that stuff happening. Now, Mechagodzilla, we don't really know necessarily what powers and abilities this version of Mechagodzilla is going to have. It has had many different abilities throughout its kind of creation, and also many different origins. I think the most widely accepted one is that it was made by humans in order to defeat other apex predators and other titans and things like that, but there was also like coming from space, and there's many different origins of Mechagodzilla. My assumption here is that the organization known as Apex has created Mechagodzilla in order to just basically get rid of the Titans in general and kind of regain control over the Earth. So let's talk a little bit about Apex. Another shot inside of the trailer shows this kind of crazy corkboard of different images that, kind of gives us a little bit of plot point connection for us that's going to be happening in the movie, and Apex's name is all over this board. But there are some key things I want to talk about. Number one is that Godzilla appears to be attacking Apex facilities. There is a sticky note that does question whether or not Apex and Monarch are working together, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Monarch is kind of unaware as to why Godzilla is suddenly attacking these cities and towns. Now, my theory right now is that Godzilla is becoming aware of the fact that Apex is trying to create Mechagodzilla and is attempting to locate Mechagodzilla and destroy it, and it is inadvertently attacking cities where these, Apex facilities are located in an attempt to try to figure that out. I also think that during his adventure to try to figure out where Mechagodzilla is, that's when King Kong is going to show up, because humans don't understand what it is that's bothering Godzilla. So then there's this fight that kind of pulls his attention, gives the Apex organization time to finish their Mechagodzilla and then release it, and then it's probably going to go haywire probably immediately, and then immediately start attacking everything, and it's going to go, kind of just all over the place. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't think that Monarch is working with Apex. That's just a feeling right now. I have no reason to assume anything else, but if they were, maybe there's like a division of Monarch, or maybe they're going to be replacing Monarch, because Monarch essentially failed to contain the Titan crisis, which does make a lot of sense. I get that. So there's definitely some connection points there between Apex and Monarch and how they're going to kind of work together. The final thing, which, you know, some people are talking a little bit about based off of the size of Godzilla, is that this kaiju Godzilla that we're seeing in the trailers is not the Godzilla that we've seen in the other films, and this is actually a smaller, maybe even child of Godzilla or some kind of, you know, situation like that. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just a matter of Kong got a little bit bigger during, you know, from Skull Island to now. He's been juicing in the, you know, inside of whatever gym he's got there on Skull Island. I don't think it's going to be a different Godzilla. I think they just increased his size to make the fights a little bit more interesting and a little bit more fun. And you know, the aircraft carrier sequence makes them seem a little bit more, you know, kind of on the same level. But in some of the other shots, King Kong still looks a bit smaller than Godzilla, and you know, I think that that's kind of something that we're just kind of seeing from these still images and trailers. It's hard to kind of get the scale of both of them. I think we're going to get a lot more of those great hero shots of both of them fighting inside of the movie, so we'll be able to really discern the actual sizes of them, but I don't think we're going to see a situation where there's another Godzilla running around and then, you know, the Godzilla we've seen in the other films shows up at the end and then, you know, is smacking people around. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this is Godzilla, and it's just King Kong got a little bit bigger. That's what I think. Anyways, guys and gals, that wraps up my little kind of theory video discussion and spoiler discussion for the Godzilla movie versus, you know, King Kong. I'm very excited for this, as I've said many times before, but of course, I'm very curious as to hear what you all think about this. Do you think that Mechagodzilla is going to go bad and is going to start attacking humans, and then we have to rely on Godzilla and King Kong to kind of save the day, and then they kind of go their separate ways? Or do you think that, you know, maybe King Kong is going to defeat Godzilla and then he's got to, you know, punch Mechagodzilla? Or are we just going to get kind of like a stinger right at the end where it's going to be they have their fight and then Mechagodzilla shows up and then it's like, oh my gosh, and then they boom, cut to black? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that, and also what you think Apex is up to. Tell me what your theories are down below. Get those comments started, and while you're down there, if you enjoyed this video, please throw a like and a subscribe up on the channel. It absolutely helps us out here and allows you to stay up to date with all the latest sci-fi news, videos, discussions, theories, and all that fun stuff in relation to all things sci-fi. Thank you guys, and I'll see you all next time.